Well, now for more insights into the significance of the visit, we're joined by Zhao Hai, Research Fellow at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences in Beijing. So let's start with the expectations. Looking at the expectations going into this meeting, has it been met?
Hi, thank you for having me. I think the expectations are very high, both in Beijing and Tokyo. At this time, both China and Japan needs to improve relations with each other. And both domestic and international conditions are ripe for both sides to improve conditions further, not only in economic areas, but also politically and in other areas, for instance, the security of the larger area in Northeast Asia. So I think moving forward, both sides will continue to improve relations and set up more joint programs to work on the third countries, on the Belt and Road Initiative, and also improving other areas of economic relations.
So as we look at this against the backdrop of global conditions, what stands out to you in terms of the key achievements from this visit?
Well, first of all, it's important to understand the international condition right now. Just a couple of days ago, Premier Li Keqiang visited Europe and attended Asia-Europe meeting, and now both Premier Li Keqiang and President Xi are welcoming Abe, Prime Minister Abe from Japan. I think the global community are very sure to join hands to defend international system, the multilateral trading system, and also the multilateral international political system against unilateral actions and protectionism and rising populism in the world. So I think against that backdrop, it's important at this moment that Prime Minister Abe visited Beijing and reached agreement with China.
So as we see these closer ties, let's also talk about the massive currency swap deal that came out of this and the sort of opportunities that this opens up for both countries.
Well, China is continuing to push forward the internationalization of renminbi, but on a steady step. And Japan is also another country that has reached early agreement with China to swap currency. However, because of political impediments, this agreement has not been renewed and improved. And this time is very welcoming that both sides reach a new agreement to extend this agreement for another 3 years, and also reach the deal to have much bigger scale in terms of currency swap. Because of this, the trade between the two countries can reach a new level, and both countries can work on other projects using this mechanism.
And obviously, it wasn't just economic deals, it was also people-to-people exchanges, and really a shift in the mindset. Both leaders talked about this shift from competition to cooperation. But how do you see that translating into a real improvement in the bilateral relationship?
Well, every time Japan sends a team to visit China, you can see the scale is larger and larger. This time, Abe brought over 500 business community representatives coming to China. So it's very important for the young generation to have people-to-people exchanges to understand each other's history, culture, and political systems so that they can improve relations for the coming years to maintain a stable, long-term, and practical relationship. So I think in this respect, it's critically important for both sides to improve on the people-to-people exchanges. This year, China's tourism visiting Japan reaching a new high. Japan, during the last Chinese national holiday, there are millions of Chinese visiting Japan, ranking #1 overseas visit in China. So I think Japan is really opening up doors for Chinese tourists, and China is really liking to go to Japan. So in this respect, I think when two peoples are joined together, visiting together, understanding more of each other's positions, the political situation and the political relations can be maintained and can be stabilized for a longer term.
So with the closer ties with this visit, how do you see that affecting the future of China, Japan, South Korea free trade talks?
Well, I think that talk is moving forward because of the current protectionism in the world. And previously, this deal has been delayed because each country has its own concerns. Japan and South Korea, they have agricultural concerns, intellectual property. But this time, I think both three parties are standing together, trying to resolve those continuing problems and try and push this forward. So I hope that in the forthcoming month, they will reach a deal so that they can have a regional economic free trade zone that can protect all the three parties' interests.
And just very quickly, with those closer ties between all three, how does that affect the region as a whole?
Well, it's important to maintain a regional stability, both politically and economically. Economic ties, improved trade relations among the three can definitely help to improve political atmosphere. And also because now the denuclearization process is going on in North Korea, and the DPRK is trying to reform its economy. It's important, probably in the future, to bring North Korea into the scheme when the when the Northeast Asia can finally come together to form a regional economic community.
All right, thank you so much for your insights. Zhao Hai there, research fellow at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences in Beijing.